When you pledge to make America great again, big shots who don't have U.S. interests in mind might be your loudest critics. That's what Donald Trump just found out in Davos, Switzerland, where he's attending the much-publicized World Economic Forum. It's no secret that powerful unions are often at odds with low-regulation conservatives, and the groups perhaps most opposed to letting America's free market drive are syndicates in other countries that are competing with the United States. The boss of a union opposed to Trump's pro-growth plans just got into a verbal fight on the Fox Business Network, but hosts Maria Bartiromo and Dajan McDowell quickly hit him with a dose of reality. Philip Jennings, General Secretary of UNA Global Union, argued that Trump has not been doing enough for workers because he is hampering regulations that union advocates pushed through during the previous administration, the Daily Caller reported. UNA is an umbrella group of unions around the world and is based in Switzerland. Jennings began by parroting a worn-out cliché that unions have been repeating for decades. He's stacking the odds against working people coming together and getting a collective voice, the European-born union boss whined about Trump. That's where Maria Bartiromo jumped in and pointed out that contrary to that claim, Donald Trump won the presidency largely by appealing to working-class Americans. His whole theme has been getting to the forgotten man and woman, she reminded Jennings. Fox's Dajan McDowell agreed. The theme during the election was those very union members in the Midwest who came out and voted for President Trump. She's right, pundits were stunned when traditionally union-heavy states like Michigan went red for Trump in the 2016 election, after decades of being safe Democrat territory. And herein lies one of the messaging problems. When someone like Philip talks about workers, well, the only good job to him is our union job, where you collect dues and then funnel that hard-earned money to political campaigns, McDowell continued. That's why that message doesn't resonate with people. She was referring, of course, to the trend in the U.S. and around the world for unions to act as political cartels, where workers are forced to join and pay union dues if they want the job, even if they don't agree with the union's politics. Luckily, the trend has finally been reversed in America, with right-to-work laws allowing employees to hold jobs without being forced to join a union, and pro-worker, anti-union states have begun to finally thrive as a result. For example, wages rose and unemployment went down in Indiana, Michigan, and Wisconsin after all three states passed right-to-work legislation. Michigan stands out in particular because the unemployment rate has fallen by 4.8 percentage points since Michigan's RTW law went into effect, the Washington Examiner reported. That's great for Americans, but bad for power-hungry union bosses like Philip Jennings. Stop this demonizing of the trade union movement, Jennings nearly yelled at the Fox Business hosts. Stop it. It just shows your ignorance of what it is we do and how we try to lift all boats. Stop demonizing American workers who don't belong to unions who are happy in their jobs, McDowell shot back. Flustered, Jennings pivoted to attacking tax cuts and tried to wheel out the tired claim that the new Republican tax law would mostly help the top 1%. That is absolutely not true, Bartiromo said. I cannot have you spew lies on this program. That is not the truth. Everybody got a tax cut. And there are the rich that are actually facing higher taxes, those who are losing their state and local tax deduction. Those are people who are finding higher taxes. The majority of Americans are seeing a tax cut, she explained. Like Nancy Pelosi trying to mock the bonuses being paid to workers and calling a tax cut Armageddon, union bosses including Jennings seem absolutely terrified that their power is waning. Individuals are discovering that they don't need archaic, cartel-like unions in order to have a voice in the modern economy. They're noticing that workers actually thrive when centralized syndicates stop demanding dues and get out of the way. People are discovering that economic freedom works, and old-school power brokers like Jennings are right to be afraid. America is moving forward, and arrogant union bureaucrats are being left behind. Please press share on Facebook if you support less inference from unions and big government.